Welcome back, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact Throwback Edition. This is Trent along with my co-host, J-Bo. J-Bo, say hello to the people.
What is shaking, everyone?
I'm trying to make that more and more intense every single week. But I should change it for the throwback, maybe. I should be a little more calm. Be a little more 2002.
You got to keep it hyper because considering how TNA and Don West are getting in these episodes, no, you got to keep it up there. So.
That's true. That's very true. You're right. I cannot comment. Yeah, TNA and Don West are wild. They're wild, man. I love it. And we talk about all the time how they are just, their commentary is incredible. So we're a little late. You know, it's a late thing. It's the Throw OG channel. It's not the big non-Impact Lounge. We're doing a little late night, just getting the throwback episode in tonight, guys. We're doing NWA TNA episode number 7. So for those of you who are braving the late night, thanks for staying up with us. Hakeem Fortin, our main man, Hakeem Fortin's in the house. Just want to say hello to him. Great articles pumping out left and right by that guy. Definitely follow him on Twitter, guys. I think it's Fortin Hakeem. Hakeem, confirm your Twitter account. I want people to give you a follow. Millard Harris, what's happening too? These are the loyal late. This is the late night crew. They're gonna start rolling in here. The late night crew definitely comes in. But we got some. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some TNA news to open up. We're gonna, before we jump into episode 7 of NWA TNA, which J-Bone was a wild episode. Holy shit!
Oh God, this one, yeah, this one
was
wild. This one was just bonkers.
The main event was wild. We're gonna talk all about it, guys. We're gonna get into it, but some TNA news, J-Bone. We're gonna talk a little TNA because this is a throwback show, NWA TNA. Yes. We're focusing on TNA. And lo and behold, we got some news announced today, right, J-Bo? Why don't you take the news since you're the news man of the Total Nonstop Impact?
So last week we got the announcement of the show, as in, okay, the rumored TNA show that they were kind of tossing around ideas back around Bound for Glory weekend. And yeah, so it's official. You know, they're making it happen. And it is absolutely taking shape now. They announced the first set. Well, I will say several. I mean, we didn't really know when they were really going to be going full steam on this as far as announcing stuff. But have they started announcing names, folks?
What do we got so far, Jay?
So number 1, we got Aces and Eights. I don't know when we talked about that on what show or what, but I'm just for the sake, because it's important. I'm gonna bring it up again just in case.
We'll be recapping it as they announce. We'll keep reiterating the name so we all remember it. But go ahead,
because we never know when people are gonna catch us either. So
yes.
So we got Anderson and Ken Anderson and D'Lo Brown representing Aces and Eights.
Yes. D'Lo, who's already working there as an agent, so that makes it easy.
Yes.
But Ken Anderson, who's with the NWA, right, J-Bone? I believe he's a regular member there.
Over there. Yes, he's been having a thing with Eli Drake, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so that's the first 2. We got a couple more. Go ahead and announce the others we got recently here.
We got Hail Sabin. We got Chris Sabin.
Woo, Chris Sabin. That's a good one.
Yes. X-Division champ, world champ, tag team champ.
That is a big one. Chris Sabin, immediately we had Chris Sabin gets announced and immediately everybody's like, Alex Shelley, Motor City Machine Guns. And
I think what they're doing is they're just throwing out like bits.
Yes.
And then when if they do announce an Alex Shelley down the road, then we're gonna get the matches, or they'll announce him with the match, like, okay, we're getting Motor City Machine Guns versus whatever, either way I'm good with. But also today, was it today or was it yesterday?
Today. It's still today. We still got 15 minutes left on Monday. So
technically, we got Wildcat Chris Harris. Man, oh man. America's Most Wanted. One half of America's Most Wanted.
In my opinion, to this day, still the greatest tag team in the TNA history. America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris. Now, people, he's been appearing here and there. I mean, he's definitely not the Wildcat like he used to be, as active. He's older now. He hasn't kept up as much like James Storm. But if this guy can go, J-Bone, and if a certain cowboy can say, hey, I'd like to get away for a day from the NWA, there's the most magical thing could happen that weekend. And that's mind-boggling. I hope to God something like that happens.
Oh, see, now this is something interesting. I did not see. I've been a little rusty on the NWA stuff because due to controversial things happening and, people shooting off their mouths. I won't get into that. We got Millard Harris saying, J-Bone, did you hear that Anderson wasn't on the pay-per-view or the TV tapings this weekend? Wonder if it's due to the Impact show.
Interesting.
I did not know that. And Hakeem Fullerton said, piggybacking off that, he said, highlighted the wrong one. I believe he got pulled from an event.
Wow.
Because of this announcement. Oh, my goodness.
So that's interesting, Jay. That's controversy, right?
See, and that's really sad if that's true. That's really sad because I was very excited to, and I was going to start, I'm hearing things. I heard a certain gal lost her title and one of my favorites, Thunder Rosa, won. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll start watching again. That makes me happy. And I'm ecstatic for guys like, oh God, the name is escaping me now.
What do you got?
Another fellow who's on NWA. He was also spent a cup of coffee in TNA.
Aaron, former Aaron Rex.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly who I was thinking of.
Damian Sanda. What's he going by now?
Aaron Stevens, I believe.
Aaron Stevens, yeah.
His real name. At least I think that's his real name. I don't know.
I think it is. He's good. I mean, he's a good talker at least. He's got a funny character going on, but he's a good talker.
1,000% charisma, and Ken Anderson's been brought in there too, and he's I think of him as one of those old school guys from Wisconsin. So he
is.
he legit is. I mean, when I think of old school, the first thing I think of is like Crusher. And there's certain people that you can put into that same category. They don't have billion-dollar bodies, but damn, they are good wrestlers and good mouths on the mic. Ken Anderson is one of those guys. And I always wanted to see him get a little higher, in the echelons of wrestling history. And he only did so much. But nonetheless, we are getting him on this show. Wildcat Chris Harris is going to be there too, one half of America's Most Wanted.
Huge.
Now we just need Cowboy.
Are the NWA guys under contract, Jay? Are they on a contract? Or are they on appearance deals? If they're on appearance deals, hey, it's free reign. Come on down.
They're on YouTube. I can't. I mean, it's not like we're on a TV contract. I mean, obviously there's some kind of contract being associated with the NWA. Is it how worth is it? Like, I hear people saying that MLW contracts aren't worth the paper they're printed on and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm not knocking the NWA. I'm just saying, if you don't have TV and you're just trying to do stuff and you got 100 people in your audience,
I'm not really sure what the turnaround is there, but if it's a Billy Corrigan pet project and if he's funding it, that's one. I don't know. I have no idea how their money works, but I gotta imagine, Jay, that Storm would be able to appear. I mean, that he'd want to appear, right? Like, I mean, I can't imagine he wouldn't want to.
That's where he came from. That's like 95% of his career is in that place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no matter what the departure is, man, this is a different company now with different goals.
It is.
It's so much has changed.
It's a new world, man. Impact Wrestling is a different world. But, for the sake of your own career and legacy and the love. I mean, those guys are as close as family at one point, right? And just, I can't imagine if I'm James Storm, I'm thinking, man, it would be awesome to just do it one more round of AMW. Would be pretty cool.
How many times do you get to say we're putting the band back together?
It's man, in an industry like wrestling where you leave territory, you don't see people for years. I gotta imagine it's a treat for these guys to do this. I hope to God they get to do it. If there's an AMW reunion, I'm really gonna kick my own ass for booking a bachelor party for my buddy the week after the show in the same freaking town. So if that's the case, though, J-Bo, I've already told people I might have to go 2 weeks in a row to Florida. We'll see what happens. But 4 announced names, guys, for TNA reunion. There's no place like home. So we're going to break that news here. We're also going to mention this again on the Total Nonstop Impact weekly show on the Impact Lounge, just to reiterate to that fan base as well. And then once J-Bo and I were talking, once we got about maybe 10 to a dozen names announced, we'll start fantasy booking a little bit, and then we'll start predicting. I think right now 4 is a little light, and everybody's really jumping ahead quick on who do you want to see, They can't book everybody, guys, so let's be fair to them. But all right, let's kick it off, Jay. This was a nutty episode. NWA TNA number 7 from the Nashville Asylum. What a damn show. I got my notes. I got them on the phone. I watch and I note simultaneously. And I do have a detailed sheet on the computer also, but I'm going to go to my notes in addition. So we opened up with AJ Styles and Elix Skipper, an X-Division extravaganza, J-Bone. This was one of those real showcase events of the X-Division where you start off the show hot, X-Division pace stuff. But did you notice one thing, Jay? First half of the match, pretty slow. Pretty like feeling out process slow, but it kicked up like halfway through. They just like fired it up. Did you catch that?
Oh yeah, and the crowd was just they were 50-50 for everyone all night. They would root for one guy, then they'd root for the other guy. I mean,
there was a heel section. It was like there was a bunch of guys rooting for the heels and a bunch of guys for the faces. Like that crowd was very split all night. You're right. I'm going to take a sip of my non-alcoholic Labatt's Blue here, Jay, just by the way, just so you know. If you're wondering what I'm drinking. Non-alcoholic Canadian beer.
Nice.
Anyway, continue. But you're right. They were very split. But this match, though, was like, let's feel each other out for about half of it, and then they just exploded. And I thought that was interesting. Hakeem Ford, imagine Elix Skipper coming back for one night. Huge, because he left pretty quietly, didn't go anywhere else. He got like straight out. I would love, and even if Elix is sitting in the crowd, I'll be fine with that. So we'll see.
Right?
I'll be fine with it, man. But this is a pretty good match, Jay. Styles wins after the spiral tab to end it. Jerry Lynn, who's on commentary, very supportive, saying they've hammered all the details out. They're good to go. Congratulates them after the match. Pretty civil with these guys. They're basically saying last couple of weeks they've been saying they're civil again. But what do you think of the match? I thought it was a pretty good match. Yeah, quote unquote civil. What do you think of this one, Jay? I thought this was fun. This reminded me of WCW opening up with cruiserweight matches.
More like Sybil.
Sybil. Go ahead. Give me some thoughts on this one.
Oh, this is just a classic, and it's still so early in the days of this company. And just watching them go at it, and what's coming down the road. At least I know, I'm like, when I say coming down the road, I'm thinking like 2 years down the road, like the stuff that I'm more familiar with. And I'm like, man, and just seeing them start out here, this is hot. Everybody's hot coming in and so ambitious. And yeah, man, this is just exciting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And these guys are working so hard. There's such a passion to this. I mean, these guys are they're out to prove something, and just seeing them in their young days, when they're just trying to prove themselves, is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, you're trying to sell a brand new product. I mean, it's exciting and it's new and it's fresh and it's all those positive things. But man, there is also a stress level to this that I can't even imagine what these guys are going through. Like the pressure that's on them
A lot
from the back, you know?
For a lot of them, it was the first time on pay-per-view on TV, you know? So it was new for a lot of these guys to even try this area of stuff. So I got to commend that. You know, that was they're proving themselves. They're out to prove themselves. But definitely a great match. I liked it a lot. We go to the camera or to the announce desk. And when I went to the Asylum, I sat where the announce desk is. Jay, you see those bleachers behind them? That's where I sat for Homecoming. Okay. That's where they were that commentary there. When it was Homecoming, then they moved the commentary to the side a little bit. But they have said that Ricky Steamboat has restored order, and he's come out. He's basically put these back. He's restored order by forcing Malice to return the NWA Heavyweight Championship belt to Ken Shamrock. And he has lifted the 60-day suspension on Jeff Jarrett so he could face Scott Hall later in the evening.
Not like I don't think it was ever actually enforced because he was just raising hell at every show, every chance he got.
It's like you were suspended but never actually went away.
Yeah, and whoever tried to enforce anything on him ended up getting like naked, dipped in tar and hogtied or whatever. You know, it was just
so funny.
Jeez Louise.
It doesn't end here. It doesn't end with this episode either. Elix is leaving the ring, and Monty Brown comes and attacks the shit, beats the. I literally wrote this on my notes. Monty Brown comes out to attack Skipper and beats his fucking ass. Is what I wrote on it. That's literally what I wrote in my notes here. Beats because he beat the shit out of him in this explosive. Jay, let me ask you the question here. Monty Brown is like brand new into this business at this point.
He's on fire here.
Oh, like how fun is he to watch? I'm like reliving Monty Brown. Yeah. Now I want him back so much more, right?
Yeah. I mean, as we're watching this and seeing obviously not everybody almost 20 years later can do what they did back then. Some are still trying to do that. You know, you see a few people out there like, you know, the Fallen Angels still kicking ass and a few others, but you know, it just seeing them again, like if they just bring people back for like a panel that weekend, you know, briefly on the show, anything, I don't care what, just to see them again, just as we as fans can say thank you, you know?
Yeah. Low key already said no. Did you see that, by the way?
No, I did not.
Yeah, somebody tagged him and he quote tweeted and said no, thank you. So he left on some bad term. I don't know what it is, but he leaves everywhere on bad terms. It seems like.
Yeah. Well, when the last time he left Impact Wrestling, it wasn't on good terms, and that was fairly recently. That was within the last couple of years.
And I kind of understood the last one though for sure. He was supposed to go for the belt, and they like fucked him on plans or something happened. Like it got fucked around, and he felt really betrayed by having a potential title run and stuff. So he claimed they fucked him on something, but you know.
Seeing what he did, not to talk about another company, but seeing what he did over the last 2 years in MLW.
Yeah, he sure did good. He's a fantastic talent. Like you said, it'd be nice just to get to say thanks to Loki from the TNA side of fans, but it's his thing though. Jeff Jarrett comes out with a burlap sack with clearly a human being in it. This is like, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And he gets in the ring.
The sack of potatoes is alive.
I was like, there's a person in there rolled up in a burlap sack. And he says, Burl Barons told him, you know, when he got suspended, he's gonna have to work himself up from the bottom and to get another title shot. And to do this, he opens up the burlap sack, J-Bone, and reveals this midget wrestler named Todd Stone. So he's literally working himself up from the bottom. And he pile drivers and gives a stroke. I don't know why I'm laughing so much at this.
I was laughing too. I was just like watching. I was watching this on my computer like.
It was so ridiculous. It was beating the piss out of this guy and gets interrupted by Puppet, the psycho dwarf, the midget killer, and This is where I lost my mind, J-Bone.
This just got crazier and crazier and crazier. It's like, oh, okay. It's midget season.
This is where I blew my mind. Puppet pulls out a fucking gun. He pulled out a fucking gun. What? Can you imagine this happening today? Could you imagine that this happens today? I can't even wrap my head around this. I saw this when it happened. I didn't remember any of this. And he pulled out a goddamn gun. The crowd was shocked, Jay. Did you see the crowd? They were shocked.
Oh, yeah.
There's a fucking gun in the ring. That's got to be a first. That has to be a first. I can't imagine it happened before.
Jeff Jarrett's, swinging his chair around.
Oh, my God.
He ends up taking out Puppet. And then all of a sudden, you go from, like, hating Jarrett to, oh, thank God for Jeff Jarrett.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. I mean, he takes out security. Steamboat gets in there, tells him he's not going to do the same thing like he did with Barons. I mean, Bob Armstrong's out there. Don Harris, who was pretty prominent on this show. We're going to get to him.
Oh, yeah.
Jarrett then challenges Ricky Steamboat to a fight with the stipulation of title shot versus 60-day suspension. Steamboat is like, all right, well, I'll do this shit. And so Steamer gets in there, and he's all, doing his poses. And Scott Hall jumps in from the back, ambushes Jarrett, takes him out, brings a stretcher to the ring, and gets to the microphone and tells Steamboat to back down. He's going to handle this. He's going to get revenge by taking Jeff Jarrett out on a stretcher. What a goddamn segment that was. This was unbelievable.
Well, I could say this thinking about how the episode ended and looking back on it now, it's a good thing they didn't call it an ambulance match. Because they would have literally been doing car crashes in the parking lot with ambulances. I mean, that's how this show would have went. Unreal. They were killing each other at the end of the show with the freaking stretcher. I was
unbelievable.
Like, that's not how this stretcher match goes. Carry on.
Oh, my goodness. I need a breather after that one. I'm going to answer a couple of questions in the chat here. Miller's asking, but the one night only show, do you see anybody getting signed after it? I honestly, personally, Miller, I don't think so. I don't think this is that kind of event. I mean, you got a lot of guys who aren't active as much anymore either. I don't see them signing anybody back. Like Chris Harris, I don't think he's contract. What are you gonna do with Chris Harris today? You got too many young guys.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a contract type of event. Hakeem's got a comment here. Imagine a one night only event having the over the top gimmick battle royal. Now this is kind of fun. Curry Man, Black Machismo, Shark Boy, Rosemary the Deaners. That could be fun. If you need to get everybody on, that could be fun for sure. The problem we face today, though, Jay, is a lot of guys are signed. A lot of the TNA guys are signed here and there and elsewhere. That's a problem we got.
Yeah.
And that unless if AEW claim is the claim that they give to be inclusive and be friends with everybody, if you let these guys go for one night and show up here, I'll give mad respect to AEW if they allow that to happen. We'll see.
And I'd like to think that I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I know how Tony Khan would think. No, I'd like to think the way I know that Tony Khan is just a fan of wrestling in general, and his love for wrestling goes way back. I've got to think that there would be a positive outcome for the fans in this for certain people.
I mean, it would be super cool.
I'll put it this way. I would look at guys like Kaz and Christopher Daniels coming over with better odds of having that than someone like AJ Styles. Okay, I'll put it that way.
No doubt. I mean, you're talking like these guys are known for doing stuff like that. It'd be nice for them to do it on this show. I would love to see it. If they do, mad respect for me, man. But we'll see. We got about, what is it, April? We got, about 3 months, right? Well, yeah about 3 months. So,
yeah.
Actually, 2 months. Oh, actually, not even 3 months. We got about,
a little over 2 months.
Over 2 months, yeah. So not too much time. So that's why they're rolling this stuff out. But I think, like I said, I think they're gonna do okay. I know Miller mentioned or somebody mentioned it, Russo in the chat here.
Oh,
I can see them asking him. But I don't think he'll do it. Vince isn't in. I'm a Vince Russo fan. I like Vince Russo. I think he's a great creative guy. Differences aside with everybody, but I as you know, Jay, I pay for his premium podcast. I'm a big fan of his stuff.
Yeah.
He just started taking some bookings to go into a local or somewhere in Utah to help out and consult, but he's not big on the road. And I don't think he wants to put himself up against that kind of criticism, even though I think it'd be a good PR move for him, to be honest. It'd be kind of crazy. Nobody's seen him in a long time at these kind of things. Even though he was at WrestleCon a couple years ago, though, I think.
I would love to see him pull a screw job on someone and appear for 5 seconds and then duck out.
And be it could be a nice little ha-ha, they put something on a pole. It'd be a great way to get a lot of people to be like, let it go. Let's laugh it off now.
Right.
It'd be kind of fun. We'll see. Right. We'll see, guys. I don't think there's any limits as far if the guys aren't signed, no limits. If the guys are signed to, let's say, AEW, I can definitely see some favors being called in. Maybe, hey, let's see what happens. Let's keep going here, Jay.
Yeah.
Backstage, Goldilocks with Sonny Siaki, the ace in the hole. He hasn't gone to the new nickname yet, the ace in the hole, which comes in later on. Ace in the hole, Sonny Siaki. When it starts going by.
Oh my!
You'll get to that one. But you can see the solo breaking out here because he's got a singles match and they're asking, where's your backup?
Yeah.
And he said, I gave him the night off. He goes, Elvis Presley needed the Jordanaires. Sonny Siaki is twice the man Elvis is. You're already seeing a star here, right, Jay? You're seeing this guy. You're hearing this.
Oh,
Let me ask you. You're a first time viewer of this guy now, right here. What's your opinion watching this?
Well, I remember seeing him down the road a couple of years from here, but I don't remember him. I don't remember specific things like this. I don't remember him being like this. If he was like this, I don't remember it. But yeah, man, he is talking himself up. He is charismatic. He's like, don't you touch me. Yeah. And she's like,
Goldie looked great here, by the way. Goldilocks is looking hot at this time here too. She still looks great. She's speaking of Russo. She's got a podcast on Russo's network. So if you are interested in knowing where Goldilocks is nowadays,
she was all over the show.
She's great. Goldie's pretty cool, man. She's still pretty cool. But anyway, yeah. You're seeing Sonny Siaki. You're watching this guy and you're like, this is a star in the making. There's something about this guy. And I think the only thing people are thinking of is you got to drop the gimmick. The Elvis thing isn't working. Because I'm looking at him at this point. In 7 weeks, I feel he's already exceeded the Elvis gimmick. It's like you've already gone past it. You're cooler than this gimmick now.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they're down south and Elvis is loved, but I never was would have thought of that as a good gimmick. And when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came back years later,
they did it too.
Is another version of that, only different. Oh God, what do they call themselves?
The Kings of Wrestling.
The Kings of the Kings. Yeah, and they wore the jumpsuits, and I was like, I love those guys. Hated the gimmick.
Yeah, it's goofy. It's meant to get heat, basically. It's a heat spot, but but at this point, you're 7 weeks in, and I am already looking at Siaki breaking out of it. I'm like, this guy needs to go somewhere else. He's got to exceed this because he is he's a bigger star than this, So you're seeing the hint of that here in this match. But this is cool. So far, so good. He's fighting Slash later from the New Church. So we go from that to that match. Slash, the Disciples of the New Church face Sonny Siaki one-on-one. James Mitchell jumps in on commentary. Father James Mitchell, who to this day is still there. Now, we need some New Church on the reunion show, J-Bone. James Mitchell's still in the house.
Yes.
I mean, one of these guys has to come back. Malice has passed away, unfortunately, but the rest of them are alive. So let's get something. But that music has to play, goddammit, J-Bone, at the reunion show. Pretty competitive match, though, huh? This was a pretty good match. Slash
this was good, and the ending was just weird.
Weird. Again, guys, 2002. Okay, you see how compared to today's wrestling, how safe are they playing it today compared to 2002? It's incredible how, like, the finish was Slash putting a hood over Siaki's face and giving him a neck breaker, right? I mean, this was unbelievable. And then afterwards, Slash ties up Siaki in the ropes. Mitchell desecrates Siaki with the blood of the Audad. What is the Audad, J-Bone? He says he has the blood of the Audad in this vial or this box.
I'm scared to look it up, but if you do, okay, so
I'm gonna look it up. The hell with it. He gets on with the Audad.
I did a couple close-ups of the thumbnail that you see for this video that we're doing right now, and they do a close-up on, you know, as he's putting, you know, the up, that different looking kind of like cross. You've seen it on Judas Priest albums and stuff like that.
The pentagram.
No, it's not pentagram. It's
the cross.
Yeah, it's like a hook and a line.
Yes, yeah.
So it's a type of cross.
Yes, yeah.
But James Mitchell, if you look at the ring on his hand, it's got a pentagram with the goat on it, and I was like,
well, that's, now you mentioned that, the Audad is basically that horned goat animal is what that is. So that's what it's like, a native, it's a wild sheep of northern Africa, but it looks like that wild goated animal that that's associated with the devil a lot of times.
Evil.
Oh man, Satan? Crazy. So there you go. There's your answer on that. But how crazy. You're talking about Satan. You're desecrating with blood from a satanic minister. I mean, James Mitchell is literally a satanic minister. Like he is a ordained satanic minister, J-Bone. If
you want to bridge anything from 2002 NWA TNA to now, you could say this was almost the birth of the Undead Realm gimmick in itself.
Wow. Whoa. Wait a minute.
Just wait. I'm just saying there's mild overtones here. Think about this. Think about what we watched.
All right. I'm in now. You got me.
He put the hood over his head and put a finisher on him. Okay. They did that. I know I'm jumping ahead here, but they did this later to probably the biggest dude on the freaking roster.
Yeah.
Watch how he reacts to this. One little move like that is not going to knock someone out. There's something unique and dastardly and evil about this piece of cloth that they put over their head. There's some kind of supernatural mojo, something that's going on here. And that's what I'm talking about.
You're blowing my fucking mind right now. If James Mitchell is tying in, like, these were the seeds of the Undead Realm, and they tied it in 17 damn years later, I'm gonna give that man a hug. That is fucking crazy right now, Jay.
I'm just saying this, this is the start of stuff like that, because
that's so cool.
If you look at how Sonny Siaki was acting and he was all out of it, like he was struggling and he just couldn't. Okay, a normal person would have jumped right off the ropes, drop kick Slash, and ran away and been like, screw this blood shit, I'm out of here. No, he was struggling. He was like out of it. He was weakened by some kind of supernatural power.
Shit, man. Jay, dude, this is crazy. This is awesome. That's imagine.
I watched it back like 3 times, and I'm like, why is he
Wow.
acting like this? And all of a sudden, it hit me. I was like, holy shit, what if? And that's all I'm saying is, what if?
Wow. If that's the tie back, if that's the if because look, Jim Mitchell is a smart guy. He is a very smart guy. As is J-Bone for putting this plant in the seed right now. But
and if it's not, I'm just saying that this company has been known for that kind of stuff, and it could go all the way back to episode 7 when they started doing stuff like this.
This is cool. Imagine if Jim Mitchell, because he's a sharp guy, if his mindset was, let's have some remnants of this tying back to the original Sinister Minister, which is still the same guy. So, wow. Yeah. J-Bone, we need to meet James Mitchell and ask him. I mean, he might think we're a bunch of marks, but
or
he might be like, you broke the code.
Sure, dude. What are you drinking? A little caffeine water. I swear to God, it's all that's in here.
I'm drinking non-alcoholic Canadian beer. J-Bone's drinking something pink. I don't know what, and he's coming up with crazy conspiracies.
Here, you wanna know what it is? It's this shit.
It's Meyer wild strawberry caffeine water.
It's those little packets you can put in your water.
Yeah. Very nice, Jay. Very guys. I spread the word. Hakeem, you're the writer of the group here, man. Listener, out of all the guys listening, you are the man. Spread the word. J-Bone is onto an amazing theory. We need Jay. Okay, I'm proposing this right now in front of everybody. We need to do a special on this. We need to do a special on this. We got to talk about this.
The history of the undead realm.
We got to talk about it. As we get further in, we got to talk about this and tie it into today. Pick up the clues. Guys, if you guys can pick up the clues, let us know what you're seeing. Anyway, all right, let's keep moving here, Jay. This is a lot to handle. All right. We go from that to backstage Goldilocks with Ricky Steamboat. She asks him about all this chaos. I mean, this is a chaotic episode. Chaos everywhere. And she said the Steamboat, she mentions he's taken over. So Steamboat's very prominent in the early days here. But he's going to lay down the law that the NWA has had for decades. And he pretty much gives a little synopsis of the NWA's integrity. He's a former NWA champion, remember that? He says he's going to keep Jarrett, Malice, and Ron Killings in line. So these are the 3 troublemakers. And as Steamboat leaves at the end, Bruce quickly cuts by trying to get his attention. So Steamboat left a little, he made a comment about Bill Behrens at the end. He took a shot at Bill Behrens as he was leaving. He's like, somebody's like, she compared, like, what are you going to do with Bill Behrens? And he goes, don't you dare compare me to Bill Behrens. That's some kind of inside joke between these guys. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I thought that was pretty funny. Don't compare me to Bill. The next one is pretty interesting. So we go. They're doing the dates of the upcoming events and by the dancers, and this is interrupted by Round the Truth Killings, who gets to one of the cage dancers. She's African American, so he immediately begins with my sister, and I'm your brother talking. My sister, they're exploiting you like P.T. Barnum exploited people like a freak show. They got you in a cage. The racial overtone is being cast heavy, J-Bone, big time. He's without saying it fully, right? Did you catch that? He never actually said because you're black. He cast enough of a net to let you know that's where he was saying.
Yeah.
He tells her to take a stand, tell her boss says she won't be abused anymore. She doesn't respond to him. She kind of gives him a cocky look, and he calls her a $2 hoe.
A $2 hoe.
And I think she slapped him. She slapped him.
That was her drawing point. Her drawing point. She didn't. She couldn't take anymore. She's like,
She slaps him, and Monty comes out and makes the save. So Monty Brown again involved with Cruz. I mean, he is not forgetting his feuds, man. There's a comment there's a comment I want you to feature in the chat there, Jay. There's a comment I get dog for constantly. I'll just feed the last one right there. Yeah, right there. This guy right here. What was Ron Killing's name in the WWF again? Was he K Crush before he got to Nashville? This is one of my besties in the world right here. This is referee Nate Speckman, who I've talked about several times. And he's always giving me a hard time because he's like, you ask this question on every throwback episode. So, J-Bone, what was his name in WWF before he got to TNA?
Wasn't it K Quick?
I think it was K Quick.
K Quick or KK Quick or something like that.
Ron the K Quick Killings, maybe?
Something, yeah. God
damn you, Nathan. I spent a lot of time with Nate Speckman yesterday, referee. You know, if you're hanging out with the referee, they count you out constantly, like anything you do. I was having a cup of coffee with him, and he was counting me to 10. But I said, "What about?" I said, "You're a Japanese fan," so he said, "I'll give you till 20." So, yeah. So it's tough. It's tough hanging out with the referee. They keep you in line. You can't misbehave, even socially, around the referee. Damn you, Nate Speckman. Always giving me a hard time. But since we're talking about Ron Killings here, let's keep going. Monty Brown takes him out. And so Monty's, again, very involved here, Jay. He is extremely like making sure he's getting his presence on his feuds, right?
Oh yeah, I mean he's getting revenge on the guys that turned on him, because it started when he tagged with Elix Skipper, right?
Elix Skipper, and Elix served him up to get beat up.
Yeah, with R-Truth.
Right. So
yeah, he's nailing both of them in this episode.
Yes. I like that they're not forgetting about these little details. And he went after both of them, not just Elix. He went after R-Truth. I said there's a little detail about making sure you cover all that base. But I like there's continuity, always a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Steamboat comes out again and he addresses Ron Killings and he tells him to come back out. Tell the truth, come back out. He comes out. So this is right after he got his ass kicked. So it's like right away. So he tells him he doesn't really know if Truth is addressing them as an authority or them as in skin color. Because remember, he's not quite saying it. It's enough for you to make your own interpretation. But he wants to hear him out. Truth tells Steamboat he's not them. He's fighting for them too. He talks about Steamboat's career in the WWF, and he brings up the WrestleMania 3 stuff. I mean, he's dropping some common ground that people can all associate to, right?
This promo was just incredible. Like, it blew me away.
But watch Steamboat's facial expressions. I thought that, to me, made everything Truth was saying that much better. The way Steamboat's watching him and kind of being like, I can't deny it. Like, he's right. Like he's so good at that.
Just the fact that he gave the mic to Truth and he's like, you're sitting there, you want to spit all this truth on stuff. He's like, I'm giving you the chance. I'm here. Here you go. Talk to me.
Brilliant, right? It was so well done.
It was like, he's giving, it wasn't just Steamboat coming down. You've been shooting your mouth off. I'm going to drop kick you in the face. No, he's like, you know what? Say your stuff.
It was really cool.
And then I'll drop kick you in the face. But we didn't get that.
No. And one thing Truth mentions is like, why didn't they give you a chance at the world title? Why did you were the IC title? It was you were just kept down with that belt. You didn't get to go to the top. And you could see Steamboat brilliantly like listening and like he's doing that thing where he's like thinking about it, but not quite believing it, but kind of believing it at the same time. And he's like, this guy's right. He has a point. Truth tells Steamboat he was kept down for, in his career, much like he's being kept down now. So Steamboat says, I understand. And he says, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna give you a title shot against Ken Shamrock next week. And that's it. And he walks off. He's like, fine. Here's me giving you a chance now. You say you're being held down. I'm going to give you a chance.
And the announcer, like TNA and everyone at the desk was like, what?
Mind blown, right?
Yeah, like everybody. Like, I didn't even think that was going to go that way. But I could see the look on Steamboat's face changing throughout this entire promo. So I was like, and I knew somewhere down the road he did become NWA champ, and I was like, huh. But I couldn't remember when it was. I knew it was before I started watching. So somewhere between here and 2 years down the road when they hit Fox Sports. So I was like, I knew it was early. Was it this early? I'm like, maybe this is like, it's going to happen sooner than I think.
Keep watching, man. Keep watching.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, but it's to me, all the ancillary factors made this better. Steamboat's reactions, Tenay, West, and Ferrara's reactions, the crowd, everybody else. Not the Truth wasn't great. Truth's promo was amazing, but everybody else acting so perfectly with him made it so much better. It gave Truth exactly the supporting cast he needed to make his promo excellent, which it was. It was already excellent, but it's like you'd always need a good opponent to take your promo, and react to it. And they all did it. It's like they all gave him their best. And it's like, as you should have, because the guy was so you could see. I was talking to Danny Daniels, who runs AEW, and he said the best kind of wrestler and heel you can have in your company is a guy with a chip on his shoulder in real life about his career.
Oh yeah.
You could see that Truth in Truth. The guy had a chip on his shoulder. You could see that he's like, no, I have been kept down. Fuck this shit. I've been kept down, and I want a shot.
Yeah, so I mean, there was a dose of realism in everything that he was doing.
I loved it,
and they let you pull back the curtain a little bit. It's like, and they let him do this.
I think they let him go a lot. I love that they gave him that freedom and they trusted him to pull it off. And so far, he's pulling it off great.
He is. It's like, damn, he's always been entertaining no matter what he's done, no matter what we've seen him, to this day, somewhere else down the road. Exactly. Yeah.
To this day.
And I'm not a fan of what he's doing now, but damn, he's still good. It's
the fact that he can still go at a high caliber and looks amazing is incredible. Good for him. Guys like him deserve that. You could tell they worked hard for it. And this guy did. No matter where he is, I'm a fan of Ron Killings. I think he was so good to us in TNA that I'm forever a fan of what he did, man. But we go from that, Jay, to Malice taking on Apolo. So Apolo, another one who was prominent these days. And Malice too for these first few shows, man. He is a major player. It's sad to know he's dead. Watching these shows, it's a bummer. It's like, damn, he died like very shortly after all this, like a year later.
He's the monster.
He can go, man. I was like, it's a tragedy that he's gone. Shit. I was like, man, so like, I think like literally a year after this, he was gone. And I'm gonna look this up just to confirm that. He died in 2003. It's like a year later. Yeah. He was gone. That sucks. Amazing. He's fighting Malice here. Malice another one who's pretty. I'm sorry, Apolo. Brawling in the ring. Apolo gets cut pretty early. I think was he bleeding like right away, or was that what was? I don't know if was it Malice who was cut. I couldn't tell.
No, it was Apolo. The stuff that Apolo did in this match, it's like watching the hell. I'm going to say this a lot of times, so this is my one time this episode. I'm going to say it. It's like watching a young Brian Cage, from another lifetime. It's absolutely ridiculous. This guy was doing springboards off the top rope and diving on top of Malice, and I was like, what did we've said this about Brian Cage in Impact Wrestling. It's like these guys are not supposed to be able to do stuff like that, and yet there are a few out there that did it. And just this is another example of Apolo just kicking ass, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. I think he was and I think he's still active. Did you look this up? Somebody looked this up and told us he was still active. I'd like to know.
I think maybe in Puerto Rico, maybe still.
Yes, I thought one of us looked this up, but can't remember totally. But he's very talented. I think he kind of decent, like a decent passable promo. And I wanted them to give him more. We'll see how when we go on, how much more they give him here. But let's get the match was good. Pretty standard, intense match. Malice is very intense. He's a big dude. A lot of energy. Again, it's crazy to me to think like he had a heart attack a year later. Yeah. For whatever reasons, we don't know. But Apollo ends up getting the pin on this one. Very quick super kick pin. Out of nowhere. So Malice is losing a lot. I don't know if he has like heat in the locker room or what, but he's like losing quite a bit. Even though he's so prominently featured. But they attack. He ends up attacking Apollo, Rudy Charles after the match. Rudy Charles, who I think is in the WWE now too. Malice goes to choke slam Apollo. Don Harris comes out and makes the save. And so Don Harris is back out here, one of the Harris brothers. And Harris is laying out Malice. Slash shows up, gives Harris a hooded neck breaker. So that hooded neck breaker again. They tie him up in the rope, and Mitchell desecrates Harris with the blood of the Audad. So now more blood of the Audad from the satanic priest is happening. So this some more of this wacky shit is going on here now. So you've done two of these things now by a legitimate satanic priest.
And like I said, if you go back and you watch how they acted, there's it's not normal. They were like, oh God, they're struggling, but they're not getting anywhere. They're not, a guy that big would be like, I'm free, clothesline, I'm out of here. Whatever,
Yeah, I gotta know. We gotta do it. We gotta do a deep dive into this undead realm theory, man. We gotta do a deep dive into this. This is blowing my mind.
We're going down the rabbit hole.
So crazy. Conspiracy theory, man. We get some more cage dancers in the ring, getting the dates of the future events. We go to Don West in the ring, and he says, now we've seen a lot of, he said, now it's time that we get Miss TNA in the ring. Taylor Vaughn, who's Miss TNA, comes to the ring, and West is, he's asking some questions, and Bruce's music hits, Millennium Bruce, and he comes in, and he said he heard the truth on TNA last week, and he was inspired. Jay, he was inspired. He doesn't want to be, he wants to be heard too. He wants his chance. He's being held down. Don West is very confused here. Don West extremely confused by all this. And
cue the line where Don West would say, well, maybe he likes to be held down.
He challenges Taylor Vaughn to a match for the Miss TNA title on the line. So
bitch.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Bruce is a very flamboyantly gay character. So it's, he's going with that in that direction of the whole thing. And Vaughn starts it off with a low blow. They go back and forth. It's pretty decently competitive. I mean, like their energy's there, like for what it is.
Oh yeah. For how they put this together, the moves were done slow, but they were done well. Because you could tell she's green as hell, and he's obviously been around for a long time. So it was done to keep everybody safe and yet look as legit as you're going to get in a match like this, and someone in high heels and a dress. You know?
No doubt. Wheelbarrow facebuster for the win, and he gets the Miss TNA title. He cries as he gets the tiara and the sash. I mean, it's very, very Miss America type. Goofy, fun. Obviously going to turn into more. So
congrats, Brucey.
Yeah, there you go, Brucey. In the back, Goldilocks tries to get more with low key. He says, I told you before, I do my talk in the ring. He's looking super jacked, pretty much the same as he does now. They give some more dates in the NWA stuff. Now, next one is Jerry Lynn facing off against Low Key. This is showcase, guys. This is X-Division. This is the kind of shit that made TNA, like these kind of matches. AJ Styles comes out with Jerry's on commentary, very encouraging. He's like super hyped, like putting Jerry over. He's my buddy, my leader. Yeah, I'm learning from him. Like, he's really, really in a good mood about this. Match is very competitive, Jay. What'd you think of this match before we go into anything else?
Oh, the match was just another classic. Like these first, few weeks of excuse me, of this company. Man, these guys just went out there and killed it all the time in these like 15-minute long matches that are just it's like watching these. I don't care who. I mean, yeah, they're okay. There's baby faces and there's heels.
Yeah.
But man, just you don't care who wins. They're just so fun to watch,
Super fun. Just a great competitive match by two guys who can. I mean, Jerry was already veteran in at this point. Low key was a couple years in, but Jerry had already been going for 14 years by this time. Think about that.
It's a crime how good Low Key was at this point. And he's
early.
Just a few years in.
I mean, Low Key was, this is 2002.
And he's still that damn good.
And I think Low Key, I think he started in 99. And I'm going to confirm that in a second. Because he was like very, not want to say green, but he was very young in the business. I mean, he hadn't been around a long time. He was pretty fresh in the whole deal. And I'm trying to look for his
I'm pretty sure they said on announcing within the last few weeks that he was like 4 years in.
4 years, what I was thinking. Yeah, so put him on 98, 99. But man, what a talent so early. Like the dude was on fire pretty quickly. But yeah, he's 40 years old now. 98. So yeah, he was 4 years in at this point. Yeah, 4 years in only. And that's crazy. I mean, he was only at this point, he was only in his early 20s during this match. So super intense, man. The guy was destined to be a very good wrestler. Styles jumps up when Low Key's about to go for the Key Crusher 99, or actually hits the Key Crusher. Styles goes up on the ring apron, and like he's gonna hit Low Key, whipping Low Key who's about to go into it, but he ends up looked very purposely hitting Jerry Lynn, who got reversed in, and the referee throws out the match. No contest. Styles comes up to Lynn's face, starts mocking him. Low Key interrupts him, hits Styles with the roundhouse kick. So Styles basically turned on Jerry. This is it. Like, he turned on Jerry right away. Like, this is so much back and forth with these two. It is nuts. Like 7 episodes, there's been 4 turns.
It's over. It's
over. This has to be it.
Yeah, Well, it's so funny because they asked Jerry about the look on AJ's face, and he never really came out and just answered the question in the first match. He just blew right over. Wow, would you look at this match? And then when AJ did the same thing in this match, I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. Because he was just so... I just love this guy. Would you just watch him in the ring? He's just amazing. It's like, oh, stop it, AJ. Just stop it.
It's pretty good. It was pretty good. You're right. Good point that that he was avoiding the question a lot. But he turned on him already, and he's on fire. Like that's it. He's done. Fuck you, Jerry Lynn. Turn on you again. Wild, just wild stuff. Goldilocks finds Don Harris backstage, and she Harris calmly tells her that Malice, did get one up on him. He's got one up on him, but he's going to request a first blood match next week to get some revenge. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It was only a matter of time before the Harris boys started wrestling. You start seeing them there. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I knew they were in there. I didn't know when they officially showed up, and it's like, oh, okay. And then they started showing up for security, and it's like, oh, okay, there's security, and that's obviously going to evolve into something else. And here we go.
Little known fact: the Harris boys owned a company called Aerolux Entertainment. They do live event production, and they actually owned a small percentage of Impact Wrestling. Not now. I think they got bought. Their share got bought out. But they owned a small percentage during the end of the Dixie era.
They've got a company called Aero Lucha that was it was basically a PG version of Lucha Underground.
Their tapings were amazing, from what I understand.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think a good chunk of it, or at least part of it, was funded from Rey Mysterio, and he was all over their shit. He was all over their show.
Mm.
And soon after, he went to the WWE, and okay,
that was it.
And you got to scrap all that, which is sad, you know, because it was like, you know, they had some fun shows down south, and then I'm laughing at this comment here. I'm like, well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it very much.
You're right, though. Like it was Jerry Lewis, J-Bone. Yeah. J-Bone Lewis. Yeah, that era, it was weird. It would start off with a house of fire, like they drew a huge house, all this stuff, and then didn't hear shit. But as far as I knew, for a long time, they were still like very minority share owners of TNA or Impact Wrestling until the Anthem buyout. So I don't know what they're doing now, though. No idea.
They're trying to sell CBD supplements.
No way. Just look them up. Really?
that's like the last thing they posted on their social media. Yeah, it's basically become the equivalent of Jarrett's Gold scheme. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So it's done. Yeah.
Interesting. So they're out of the business, huh? Interesting. Yeah. I know they had a decent run. I liked their runs. They were kind of fun, but
they claim it's still around, but it's like, no, if you haven't done anything, like if you shot your TV pilot in several episodes and it hasn't aired anywhere in over a year,
it's done.
It's done. Yeah.
They were, I know at one point they were even rumored to be buying TNA in 2016. So go figure, man. Crazy shit. Oh yeah, Millard Harris just mentioned that in the chat too, that they were trying to buy out TNA before the Anthem. It's true.
Oh yeah.
It's very true. Let's go on here now. This is a fun this segment. Another crazy. This is almost up there with the gun. Disco Inferno comes out for his session called Jive Talking, and he said he's had a ton of calls since he announced this show. He wants to have a ton of dumb blondes, but tonight for the first time, he said I've seen a lot of A, but I haven't seen a lot of T, and tonight some woman's going to come out and show her breasts on television today, live on pay-per-view. So he says, I gotta go to my notes. I think I wrote down.
I'm gonna clean my glasses off for this one.
This one, he says he wants the tea and introduces one hot, sexy, dumb bitch, Goldilocks. Can you imagine this now? First, you had a goddamn gun earlier in the show. Now you had a guy blatantly saying one hot, sexy, dumb bitch. And she, look, what the fuck? She comes out. She's like, "You're insulting me? No, screw you. You call me names." He convinced her to stay. They sit down. I love the little details. The way she's sitting, and he's like, "Hey, listen, you gotta be a lady when you come to my show." He makes her cross her legs. It's so ridiculous. They're talking about her music. And she says she's like the female Kid Rock. And Disco acts like he has no idea who Kid Rock is. It's a little back and forth. It's kind of awkward, kind of jokey, Jay. But I liked it. But
it's 100 pounds of awkward in a 10-pound bag, but it's hilarious. Yeah.
Then he's like, just go topless. Just take off your top. That's it. Just take off your shirt. And she's like freaks out. She refuses, knees him in the crotch. But then she's grabbed in a chokehold by Paulina. Somebody named Paulina, and Mike today quickly goes, "That's Paulina from Tough Enough." Now I watched here and there on Tough Enough. Do you know Paulina? Do you remember who this is, Jay?
I do not remember her. Like I know there was a lot of different people over the years, and I know ODB was on one of the first seasons, and I'm trying to remember. Gosh, yeah, it's really fuzzy. And there were some like prominent people that came out of the history of that show. You know, like John Morrison came out of one of the seasons.
I think he was season 1. He was, I think so. I'm not sure. Josh Matthews was season 1. Go figure that.
Yeah.
Good old Josh Matthews, who's our commentator, was season 1. Maven was season 1. Chris Nowitzki, some of these guys you might have heard of, but Nydia. I'm looking at the list right now. Where was season Matt Moore, former tag team champion? There's been some names for sure, no doubt that they've had. John Hennigan, Morrison, Johnny Impact was season 3.
Oh, 3.
Just,
okay, I
for
knew
reference.
he was somewhere in the beginning. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, definitely season 3. But there was some interesting stuff. Eric Watts, was Eric Watts did a season 2. What the? Eva Lise, we all know. She did season 5.
Watts is still wrestling out of LA.
This isn't the same Eric Watts. Like, it's Bill Watts' son. This is not the same guy.
Oh, I must be thinking of someone else.
This cannot be the same Eric Watts. No, it's a different Eric. I'm looking at him now. Different Eric Watts.
Oh, okay.
Tough name to have.
You're right. We losing you?
Says here. I want to read this up. The last one on that he sent out. No, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Homophobia, gun-toting midgets, Goldilocks getting verbally harassed. Holy shit! This stuff would not fly today. No kidding. No kidding. Can you imagine this today? Yes, this was pay-per-view. Let's put that out there. There was a little more liberty granted here because it was on a pay-per-view. But at the same time, can you guys imagine if Twitter existed in this day, the Twitter lynch mob the way it is today? It would be mind-blowing what would happen today.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's crazy.
J-Bone,
all right.
I think TNA could have done a lot of things they did back in the day without being able to. No, Jen, just
no
to piggyback
way
on that. No way. No.
Absolutely
But this was the Wild Wild West. This was their thing. So they could basically do whatever the hell they wanted. Hell, if Goldilocks wanted to go out there and do that, she certainly could have. It was their paper. It was a pay-per-view. No network, nothing. There's far worse things on pay-per-view,
Oh, there definitely was later on. You'll see there was some. I don't know if it's been edited out of the Impact Plus version where we're watching, but there were some wardrobe mishaps in the Nashville days that I remember. So there were some things that came up. All right, Don West gives a passionate rundown of next week's show. This was like a promo he was cutting. Did you catch this?
Yeah, and I know we mentioned Don West at the top of the review here, talking about how much these guys were losing their minds through the show.
Oh, man.
This what he did here, and I'm glad we're talking about this. This was like the birth of what he became down the road, is what I look at as. Is like they let him do this, or they had him do this, and they saw how good it was, and it just blossomed into, wow, he really became you want something sold? Use Don West,
Seriously, man. It literally, he was selling that show. That's what he did for a living. He was known for that, right? He was known for doing that. That's what he did.
Even if he was wearing that god-awful shiny-ass red shirt.
He looked pretty good in that red shirt.
Oh, God.
Now, the main event was Scott Hall and Jeff Jarrett. Wild main event. This was brawling. This was, I remember, these two have fought a million times in the WWF and WCW. So they had a lot, right? They've been back and forth. They start fighting all over the building. They're outside, Jay. During the mid-match, Truth comes out to interfere, to attack Hall. Mighty Brown comes in to break up Truth. Jerry Lynn comes in and hits Jeff Jarrett. Now, I couldn't figure out what was the disconnection here. Jerry Lynn, and I missed something.
Yeah, there was a lot of people in here that didn't have to be in here, but it just added to the lawlessness of the whole atmosphere Like,
but Mike Tenay mentioned something there, Jay. Did you catch this? He's like, was that for the look he gave earlier in the back? I said, I don't remember a segment between Jerry Lynn and Jeff Jarrett, though. Did I miss something?
yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. Sometimes sometimes you blink, you miss something on the show, and I've had to rewind plenty of segments. Like, wait, what the hell just happened there?
We might have missed something.
It could have been, and then like everybody and their uncle came out. Harris ended up coming out.
Oh, I'll keep going down the list here. So Jerry attacks Jarrett. AJ comes in. Jerry comes in to attack Jerry. Don Harris comes in to stop AJ. New Church comes in to stop Don. It was just wild. There were so many people running out. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is like,
yeah.
But look, a lot of people complain about, I love chaotic wrestling. I love that chaos because the crowd is nuts. They're like, what other person? Another person.
Because you don't know where to look.
I love it though. I love chaos in wrestling. And they're loving it. Jeff Jarrett gets a chair and Steamboat comes out, and he tries to attack Steamboat, backfires, hits him. Hall comes in with a chair. He gets a chair. Tries to go for Jarrett. Steamer stops him, causing Jarrett to take the advantage and give Scott Hall a gosh, what the hell is this? I forgot his finisher's name. He gives him his finisher, the stroke. Sorry,
the stroke. Yeah,
the stroke on a chair being held. Hall through 1, 2, 3. Steamboat feels guilty. What the hell did I just do? It was a chaos, absolute chaos. What did you think about this match, J-Bone?
Oh, it was just like I said. It was the icing on the cake from this whole thing. Was just batshit bonkers. It is just
batshit. Can we hashtag that? Batshit bonkers. I like that.
NWA TNA is just 2002 batshit bonkers. And it was just to put the exclamation on the point that, hey, Steamboat, we're happy you're here, but man, you got your hands full. Good luck. I mean, and I don't know how long he sticks around as an authority figure, but oh my goodness.
Definitely hands full. Now there's a little bit of a little trivia for you guys here. Just a little add-on. There were 2 dark matches on this show, Jay.
Oh, really?
You want to take a guess? You want to take a guess at who had dark matches on this show?
Oh, I wouldn't have a clue.
This is very interesting. I'm going to read this to you. First one, Matt Stryker defeated BJ Whitmer.
Oh, my goodness.
How cool is that, huh?
BJ Whitmer.
BJ Whitmer, who's now... This
is also, at the time, I think of BJ Whitmer, the first thing I think of, is not AEW and his divorce, but the Ring of Honor days. When he was
known as Hillbilly Jesus. Hillbilly Jesus. But he had a hell of a Ring of Honor run. AEW producer now. Matt Stryker, WWE Lucha Underground guy, now producing an Impact.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? I mean, how life comes full circle. He's a producer at this company where he had a dark match. Second one, you want to take a guess at the second dark match, Jay?
I can't even if it's that crazy of.
What do you got?
I'm guessing it's Ring of Honor related, but I wouldn't even begin to. I don't know.
Kind of. Jimmy Rave, who did have some Ring of Honor spots, defeated Shark Boy.
Ah, classic TNA. Wow.
Shark Boy. Hakeem Fulton, yeah, that was like a nickname he had. They used to call him Hillbilly Jesus because he had long, really long hair. Something I heard on Colt Cabana's podcast. Apparently, they used to call him Hillbilly Jesus.
Here we go. Bad shit bonkers. Bad shit bonkers.
It works. But guys, that was it.
Love you guys.
We went off the air pretty chaotic. But those are 2. I'm gonna read the dark matches from now on. I'm gonna see the dark match. I'm gonna try to find that information going forward. I want to know what the dark matches are because that's a lot of fun, man. To know what the darks are for these for these shows.
Just
Especially
little nuggets of history to see where they started and where they got their first little touch of fame or a tryout or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like you're going to see names in here that you're like, man, oh, I know that guy. Oh shit. He had a dark match. Like it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be fun as we uncover that for sure.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Yeah. Going down the road between and just knowing where people came from and started to really catch people's eyes around that time and the birth of Ring of Honor, this company, I can only imagine.
Absolutely, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun as we uncover more. But guys, that was episode 7, NWA TNA episode 7. I wish we could do a lot more of these, Jay. I mean, I wish I had the time to do more of these because it was sorry about that. Oh, hang on. I got interference on a screen. There it is. I'm closing that. Sorry about that. Okay. Interference on a data screen here. I was looking at some of the results, but it threw me off. Shit. No, I wish we had more time to do more of these, man, because I'd love to keep going because they are hooking me every show. I'm hooked.
Oh yeah.
I want to see more of this.
And what we're getting next week, I can't wait to watch it. We got R-Truth versus Shamrock for the NWA TNA Championship.
Huge.
We've got First Blood match, Harris versus Malice.
Yep. That's a good one too.
And we've got X-Division triple threat for the X-Division Championship, Jerry Lynn versus Low Key versus a defending AJ Styles.
Pretty decent match.
I'm throwing my money at the screen right now. I mean, I'm paying for everything I'm watching here, but take my money.
That's awesome. I mean, you look at these, Jay, and I'm thinking back. We used to pay $10 for these a week. 100% worth it. I mean, we used to split it with two guys. It was five and five. 100% worth $10.
Yeah, and you invite over some friends, and everybody chips in the chips and the dip and the sodas or a beer or whatever.
That's what we did.
Boom,
we used
for itself.
We used to order food and just watch NWA TNA every week. I watched every single one of these. Did not miss a single one.
Yeah,
that was shit. Eric DeHoff, one of our listeners, he's on he's done with them. I think.
Oh, it's hilarious.
He's done. I can't believe how many he's watched already. By the way, Millard Harris, it wasn't porn. Okay, it was not porn. It was a commercial. It was an ad. Okay, I was on a results screen of NWA TNA, and that's not the kind of TNA I was watching. So let's just clarify that right now. But well, that's gonna do it for us, guys. Jay, let's get some plugs in here before we let these guys go tonight. Let's see, where can people find J-Bo?
You can find me over on that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast, where we're smashing everything.
Smashing everything. Women, numbers, records.
Got my own little porn podcast thing going on over here.
Lord,
No, you can find Smash This Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can find me personally on Twitter at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150.
All right, beautiful. Guys, you can find me at Vanilla Joke on Instagram and Twitter, or at Hemi Music, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Connect with me on those. HemiMusic.com as well. Or the main one here. Don't forget, you can connect with the show at We Talk Impact on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just type in We Talk Impact, all one word, and the Total Nonstop Impact channel or social media comes right up on all three of the major social media platforms. Also, you can find this podcast wherever podcasts are found. J-Bone loves this part. Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, and YouTube. Guys, don't forget, this is the original channel. This is what we call the OG Total Nonstop Impact channel for specials like the Throwback Show, the Impact, the newly minted Impacted show that's just come out. So if you haven't checked that out, Impacted starring Bison and Joker is now live on the channel. Check that out. Episode 2 will be coming out this weekend. Check out episode 1. Feature is Rosemary. It is a featurette show focusing on characters one at a time. They kicked it off with Rosemary. Check out Impact, and it's on this channel, on the Impact Lounge channel, which is our home base for the weekly NWA, the weekly, I was going to say NWA TNA, the weekly
What's going on?
No, the Impact Wrestling review show that we do, the flagship show of the Impact Lounge, the big kahuna show of the Impact Lounge, the one everybody loves. We do that in the Impact Lounge. Don't forget, guys, subscribe to both channels. Connect with us. A lot of content, more to come. We're trying to find ways to do more even. So connect with us on all these channels. Guys, we love feedback. Right, Jay? We love feedback, even if it's bad. We love feedback. So give it to us. Actually, no, stop. If it's bad, leave it. No, give it to us. We'll take it. Give us all your feedback. Get a hold of us.
If it's bad, give it to me on Smash This Podcast. I'm used to it.
Oh, come on. Come on. Subscribe to Smash This Podcast, guys, if you haven't. But check that out, guys. Give us all your feedback. We love it. Don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe on all the channels. You have iTunes, Stitcher, whatever you got. Rate it. The more you rate, the better, more we get heard. So that's going to do it, guys. Episode 7 of the NWA TNA Throwback Podcast. Episode 8 will be coming out a week from today. Usually Mondays seem to be pretty good for these, Jay. We'll probably do next Monday as well. The normal weekly show will air this or come out this week after tomorrow's Impact Wrestling airs from Fronton, Mexico. We'll get that out, and another episode of Impacted later this week. Jay, did I miss anything? Shit.
No, I think we nailed everything, including the new show Impacted. I wanted to get that in there, so thank you.
So good. Yeah. You want to say anything else about? I'm sorry if I took that away from you. You want to say anything else?
Oh no, it's just if you weren't, I was gonna just throw it out there and bring up the new show because it's drawn some night. It's drawn as many numbers, if not more, than this one. So I know it's something positive for this channel. So thank you. Just want to thank everyone again, as Trent did, for watching that show because
Absolutely.
We're excited about it. You know, this doesn't have as many subs as the Impact Lounge, which has 5 grand plus, which keeps growing tremendously.
Yeah.
And we're trying to boost up numbers here too by throwing all this original content on it. So whoever comes along for the ride on this one, it's even just that much more special. And to show love for a brand new show like that, thank you. Seriously.
Yeah. And we thank you on behalf of Bison and Joker too. Those guys are working hard. They're very serious about doing a good job on this. You know, they're first time podcasters. They want to do good by it, you know.
And they're nervous, you know.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 6 years, and I can take a punch. I take them daily now on YouTube, so it's like whatever. Give it to me, you know. I'm having fun wherever I go. Here, my channel, whatever. You know, but those guys, you know, it's different. You know, it's several years later. They're starting out brand new, and I'm doing my best to help them. Trent's, you know, showing them a lot of love, and it's a produced show, which I'm doing here at Casa de J-Bone. So I'm trying to throw my own special little touch into it too, and do well on it. So
you're doing great. You're really helping them out a lot, Jay. I got to say, you're doing a great job.
Well, makes me feel like $1 million. Like, oh, hey, people are watching it, people are liking it, people are sharing it.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's getting shared a ton of times all over social media. So I think you know, I try to hit the impact pages, at least a few of them, for our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think they shared, like, between Bison and Joe, they shared their stuff across about 20 different pages. I was like,
wow.
Damn, I'm slacking.
Good for them, man. Good for them. Very cool.
So, yeah.
Hats off to those guys. So yeah, guys, give them a little support, man. They definitely want to do good by you guys for sure.
Go hit them up on the Twitter box, and you'll certainly catch it. If you don't catch it by us on social media, you'll catch it by them. So
what does Millard Harris mean? I turned to the dark side. What is it? What is he talking about there? What dark side?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe with the porn stuff. But
it wasn't porn, though. I told you.
Are you sure it's not?
I'm positive. Jesus.
He wouldn't be that laser focused on here if it was. He'd be like, wait, what's going on? You know, we're too, you know, between 30s and 40s males here.
Yeah. Give us a break.
Easily distracted.
Yes, very much so. That being said,
we're right here. We're good.
That being said, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be
Squirrel.
back next week or later this week with some others. All right. We're going off the rails. 1 o'clock in the morning. We're going way off the rails here. Guys, thank you again. This is Trent. This is J Bone. We'll see you later on Total Nonstop Impact. Good night, everybody.